Welcome back to the Entrepreneurial SME. We're still in studio with the Head of Product Development at Telkom Business, Arnold Naicker, and Managing Executive for Insights and Advisory at Nedbank, Lizzy Mogale. Do join the conversation on our social media platforms using the hashtag #TesMe. Now, Lizzy, I'm going to go back to you and say, I don't want to sound romantic here, but could this problem also be an opportunity for SMEs?
Oh, yes, definitely, Rams. And we also saw it in the study, right? Where people are improvising. Like, for example, we had someone who's offering vaccines. And they actually said, you know, when I'm load shedded, rather than sit and do nothing, I actually have a cooler box, I buy ice, and I move the vaccine with my cooler box. Those who are in manufacturing are saying we find manual ways to continue producing what we do. It takes long, it's not the same quality, but we are pushing and challenging, you know, to figure out what we need to do. Those within the food services say we are considering mobile restaurants so that if my area is load shedded, I can go to another area when I'm able to service. Another one in manufacturing actually said, I'm also considering repackaging my products to make my products, last longer. So we are seeing the small businesses challenging themselves around how they tap into this. We talk about, the lack of supply of, installers, accredited installers. Some of them actually say, I want to train as an accredited installer so that I help with the supply of load shedding. An example of a restaurant in one of the townships said, look, I run my generator anyway during the day and it's not busy. He's invited the small business owners who can work on their devices, who can, be mobile, to say, come work at my restaurant. And this is, a thingy. When you come to my restaurant, you work here, I'm hoping you will order, then I generate business, and you also tap into access to power that exists there. So we are starting to also see this community getting together. Lots of them, when they were also talking about what solutions they can consider say, maybe we can club in, as a stock fair, if we are hairstylists, we can rent a place where we install solar there. We all use that solar, then we reduce the cost of doing business. There is a bit of that, but I think we can do a bit more around, driving more awareness and exposing the small businesses around the opportunities that they can tap into and explore to be able to address as the country is trying to grapple and deal with solutions for load shedding.
Excellent. And on that note, Arnold, the old saying, one man's meat is another man's poison. Yeah. This problem is a bit of meat for you guys, right, at Telkom Business. UPS is something that you've always provided as a solution. Talk to us about that.
So the UPS is an uninterrupted power supply. It allows you to operate when there is load shedding currently. It powers up your router and continues your Wi-Fi. Yeah. We've also got something called device mesh that connects up the devices that are surrounded there so that your internet can continue going. This keeps your business online and still operating during load shedding times. And this is where you can actually create an opportunity for yourself to really become competitive and ensure your business is running throughout this time.
Sounds to me like this crisis has created an opportunity for SMEs to drag themselves from yesterday to tomorrow very quickly.
Absolutely. We saw that with COVID. We saw that when COVID hit, everybody in terms of business ran to online platforms like Teams and Zoom and for business continuity. It induced digital use of tools. Instead of driving kilometers, people were meeting and reducing costs. So we saw that there. In this instance, we need to flood the market with UPS's solar solutions to ensure that we can bring down the cost and it can be easily accessible to SMEs. And that is why from a private sector, even from a small and medium business sector, they should look at supplying these type of equipment, and the more people that do it, the better it would be.
Lizzy, government is preaching a lot of solutions going forward. We even have a Minister of Electricity. But these solutions are not going to happen tomorrow. We all know that, right? What in the meantime does, a small business do to keep up with energy supply and make sure that they grow as a business?
Yeah, I think Rams, adding to some of the solutions I spoke about earlier, one of the biggest drive that we need to do is around demand management, right? And I think this was also a plea from the minister. I listened to the minister yesterday at an event that Nedbank, hosted, and to talk about, as small businesses, start understanding your power usage. What are some of your equipments and utensils that are using a lot of power? We know that heat generation, anything with an element, uses a lot of power. How do you start alternating usage of those equipments, to be lower, when during load shedding, so that the alternate solution that you try and get is quite useful to you? We also know that cost is a challenge. I mean, even in the study, it came out quite strongly. The cost of solar, I know we talk about solar as an alternate, but the cost of solar is quite high. That's why banks like Nedbank, we've come up with solar financing solutions that will also help the small businesses. We say, relook your investments to say, how can you consider a solar finance option that a bank can offer you, but you first need to understand what is the amount of power that you are using. How do you start changing some of the things where you'll run an equipment for 4 hours? Can you run it for 3 hours? Start switching off some lights. And I think this not only applies to small businesses,
I get
to
you,
also
Lizzy.
as a South African community.
I'm running out of time, and I need to ask Arnold a follow-up question to what you're saying. Arnold, has the time for digitization become unmitigated now? Is it the only route going forward?
Absolutely. So it's the only route going forward. You've got to be able to reach your customers online. If you don't have power and if you've got to shut down your services, you should be able to reach customers online if you can keep your internet going. With the affordable solutions like the UPS for now, until you can factor in solar into the equation. You got to get yourself a website. You got to do a proper audit of where you are, increase your footprint in terms of rather your reach via a digital platforms, social media integration. You got to look at various sort of solutions, but partnering with the right vendor to hold your hand through this process is one of the most important.
And my apologies to the both of you that I have to run. Unfortunately, we are out of time. That was Arnold Naicker, Head of Product Development at Telkom Business, and Lizzy Mogale, Managing Executive for Insights and Advisory at Nedbank. Until next time, from me, Rams Mabote, goodbye and God bless.
Telkom Business, behind South African businesses' drive to thrive.